Buenos días a todos, buenos días a todas. Los invitamos ya a pasar para comenzar. Mi nombre es Cristóbal Fortes, trabajo como jefe de la División de Fomento e Inversión en la Subsecretaría de Turismo y estamos muy contentos de tenerlos hoy día acompañándonos acá. Quisimos extender un poco el comienzo para que pudiesen tomar su café tranquilamente, comer algunas frutas para revitalizar el cuerpo, porque ayer estuvimos todos tomando mucho vino, ¿cierto? Que es parte de la experiencia, no podría ser de otra manera. Así que ya estamos listos para comenzar una nueva jornada muy interesante. Hay 2 talleres que se están llevando a cabo ahora en paralelo y terminando estos talleres sigue la conferencia con temas muy interesantes como es el Big Data y la inteligencia artificial y de qué forma también se pueden incorporar en nuestro quehacer. Bueno, y para no alargarme, porque aquí las palabras importantes no son las mías, sino que son las de nuestros invitados, les quiero presentar brevemente a 2 grandes exponentes respecto, uno más alto que el otro, uno con más experiencia también, más años de experiencia, y son 2 exponentes que nos van a ayudar a resolver muchas dudas que tenemos en torno a todo lo relacionado con los temas digitales, ¿ya? Sabemos que vivimos en un mundo muy cambiante, donde lo digital ha tenido cada día un rol más protagónico y en ese sentido es muy interesante escuchar a las personas que están y que han estado a cargo de liderar estos procesos de cambio que van a una velocidad exponencial y en ese sentido la experiencia que por un lado tiene Miquel y por otra Paul nos va a ayudar a resolver las dudas. La idea es que esto sea ojalá lo más interactivo posible. Estamos conscientes que muchas veces los temas digitales parecen lejanos, parecen difíciles y por lo tanto queremos entregarle a ustedes el micrófono terminando las presentaciones. Vamos a hacer unas breves presentaciones de 10 minutos cada uno y posteriormente vamos a dejar todo abierto a la conversación. Lo que queremos es que ustedes planteen sus preguntas y poder entregarles herramientas para que inicien este proceso que no es solamente importante, sino que es muy transformador y apasionante. Así que para comenzar, voy a presentar a Miquel Sáez de Vicuña Blanco, de Araex Grand Spanish Fine Wines. Miquel, después de trabajar en Microsoft, se unió al ambicioso proyecto Araex Grants, que es el grupo español líder de viticultores independientes. Agrupa hasta 15 bodegas en 9 de las mejores denominaciones de España en los últimos 25 años. Araex se ocupa de la gestión, comunicación, exportación, ventas y relaciones comerciales que controlan 4.000 hectáreas de viñedos, exportaciones de 11.000 botellas en 70 países. Miquel es responsable de la marca, la reputación, la gestión de la estrategia y la comunicación, posicionando al vino español como un producto premium internacional y no que duda cabe que lo han hecho muy bien. Un aplauso por favor para Miquel. Por otro lado, me tocó el desafío de resumir la bio de Paul Wagner, como ven acá. Son muchos años, mucha experiencia, así que voy a tratar de hacerlo lo mejor posible para ir entrando en materia. Bueno, Paul estudió sociología en la Universidad de Santa Cruz y guitarra...
Otro Santa Cruz.
Al otro lado. Y además guitarra clásica, ¿cierto? Así que si pillan una guitarra por ahí, entréguensela a Paul, que seguro nos va a deleitar. Ha sido instructor del Departamento de Viticultura y Enología de Napa Valley College durante los últimos 25 años. ¿Eh? Y todos sabemos la importancia que tiene Napa en la manera como ha ido liderando el desarrollo de las experiencias y cómo obviamente en los últimos años se han ido posicionando también como un sector muy importante en términos del enoturismo, ¿ya? Una cosa, ¿cierto? Ahí Paul les va a contar, pero una cosa es el ámbito de la viticultura y otra cosa es el turismo. Y esto del enoturismo es un bonito matrimonio entre los dos, ¿cierto? Paul es también profesor invitado en muchas universidades, incluido el programa MBA de enoturismo. Un programa MBA muy interesante, ojalá algún día lo podamos traer a Chile, Paul. Por lo menos ya tenemos algunas carreras hoy día en Chile ligadas ya al enoturismo. Fue autor de un libro muy importante, el Wine Marketing and Sales Strategies for a Saturated Market, The Wine Appreciation Guild, que ganó el premio internacional Gourmand el año 2008 por el mejor libro de vinos del año para profesionales. Así que búsquenlo en Amazon. ¿Está en Amazon tu libro, Paul? ¿Sí? Y pueden encontrarlo ahí y mandarlo a la casa. Bueno, y para ir terminando, porque como les digo, es muy grande toda la experiencia de Paul. Finalmente, Paul fundó Balzac Communications and Marketing el 1 de abril de 1991, con clientes muy importantes, consorcios de vinos, Chateau, State Wines, etcétera, etcétera. Así que...
Etcétera.
De mucho. Así que bueno, para no alargarnos más, dejo a ustedes entonces un aplauso para Paul, perdón, antes que nada. Así que esperamos tener una hora muy intensa, ojalá podamos sacar muchas conclusiones. Muchas gracias también por su participación.
Thank you for coming today. We're going to do something a little different. Very short presentations, we hope, lots of interruptions, and then we hope to leave time for questions. We're going to try this in English, which Mikkel speaks very well, and I defend myself in English. But we're going to begin with Mikkel talking a little about the landscape, the social media landscape. He's going to give us sort of an overview of what's going on, and then I will talk about more practical ideas at that point. Mikkel, what do you think?
Yeah, well, we have one bad news to tell you. Actually, I think we're the only speakers with no video. We're not going to show any video, so I'm sorry for that. You'll have to have fun with us.
Actually, Mikkel, I put a video in
what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So we have one short video.
Sorry, yeah.
Sorry,
yeah,
okay.
There's a borderline here.
So, Mikkel, you start.
Yeah.
Tell us what's going on in the world.
But please stay on stage if you want,
Yeah.
and we'll interact. So, well, as Cristóbal said, I work for a Spanish company. We're trying to bring wine a little bit closer to younger generations, and my presentation will try to focus on the demographics of the wine business and how we're doing. Well, I'm not giving many practical examples, that's a little bit more Paul, but how the landscape it is, the context. So I want to just trigger the debate so then you can interact, and I'm going to give you some basics to see how the things are going on. Sorry, there you go, yeah. So when I was presented the idea of presenting what's going on in the digital wine business, I thought that we need to take it on the personal side. Well, we've talked today about yesterday about telling stories, about putting passion on it, about being fun. So I think this is the only way to take it closer to the younger generations. And it is pretty obvious that there are some couple of obvious changes on the generational side and on the technology. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm going too fast. So.
We want to go fast, Mikkel, yeah. But not that fast.
Okay. So as Cristóbal said, I wasn't working for the wine business before. I was born in the wine area in Rioja Alavesa, but never had direct business relation with the wine business. So when I jumped from IT, from Microsoft to the wine business, and I saw what was going on there, I said, why are you guys doing things so weirdly? I mean, why is it so...
this could be any winery.
Yeah, so
it's every winery.
These are actually real pictures from Spanish websites, from different wineries, and I was surprised that everybody was talking about the same barrels, the same inox tanks, bottling lines, and what really got my mind is this technical shit, sugar levels and pH and all this over technical stuff that is good for the wine geeks and for the wine connoisseurs. But when we want to broaden our market and get to new consumers, this is taking actually us out from this.
Yeah, it's a wall.
Yeah, and we've all been to tastings, and to winery visits where the two person was talking about a cherry red pale color with violet blueberry aromas, and well, that's probably your opinion, but it's not. I mean, it's your perception. Anyway, and the same with this super wine shows we've probably all been to in Düsseldorf or in Bordeaux, where there's loads of people with the possibility of tasting great wines. But why aren't you making fun this opportunity? So you've got loads of amazing winemakers willing to tell you stories, to communicate what's going on, and loads of amazing wines to taste actually for free, because probably you've been invited or you've paid a ticket. But it is a very formal context. So I think we need to try to break our mental patterns and do things differently. Okay? So this brings me to the question: why do we end up making wine so boring in the end? I mean, because it's not a boring thing. It's really something that you can see that people have passion on it, that we're able to do things differently from the beer industry.
I think I know the answer.
Well, but let's ask them. Does anybody want to try to briefly answer?
Why do we make winemaking? Why do we make wine so boring?
Accidentally. I mean, because...
It's because we listen to enologists.
Yeah, you're right.
I think so.
Yeah. We do marketing from the inside out, and we don't realize who's behind us, who's willing to listen to us. So instead of acting as a winemaker and as a wine freak, first try to play the same rules and see what's going on with our visits, for instance, at the cellar. Okay, so it's pretty obvious. There's two changes. There's on the one side the generational change. Actually, Paul founded his company the year I was born, so I think it's.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
very nice.
Come on. So something's going on here. We want to get to new wine consumers. That's me and my grandpa some years ago. And we're actually both holding different glasses. So he's having his old school kind of champagne glass. I'm having whatever glass I found at home. We're drinking different wines, and not because I don't like his wine, but because I don't want to drink the same wine that I saw that it was drunk at home. I want to do things my own way, my generation, and I'm considering myself a millennial, but the ones coming next are even with completely different habits and mindset.
They think you're old.
Yeah. Well, they call me señor here, and so I'm like, so that's, on the one side, we have the generational change, and the other one, technology. It's not even a change, it's a reality. So these two pictures were taken the same day with 8 years difference. Does anybody know where were they taken? The one on the right side? Anyone? Europe? They were taken in the Vatican City the day the Pope was elected. And 2005, everybody was enjoying the moment with our own eyes, telling, I was there, I was able to see how the new Pope went home. And on the other one, everybody was enjoying the view by our screens. I'm not criticizing, but it's a reality, so it's not a change, it's happening, and we need to embrace this change, okay?
Yep, good.
I'm sorry for the, okay. So I'm going to focus a little bit on Gen Z, this generation that comes after mine. There's not really rules on here. Different demographic studies put the change in the year 2000 with the second millennial. But it's good to put it on 9/11. So they say that they were the ones that were born after 9/11, 2001. And it is actually a good point where to put the difference, because most of us here in the room, well, everybody remember where were we with 9/11, but this generation didn't, because they weren't even born. They were born after those years, okay? So just to put a little bit of context. And of course, we're not able to enjoy the moment, but we're enjoying the reality through our cell phones, okay? So about the shopping habits, most of them, 100% of them, want to buy online. They want to buy after what someone said about their product, about our product. So they want ratings, they want opinions. So they follow influencers, what we call today. And 50% of them spend up to 8 hours a day with our smartphones.
You can see some here.
Yeah, well, some are probably taking notes, I guess. But it's true. So it's an addiction. It's like alcohol, sugar, or tobacco. So we have the necessity to be connected to our cell phones. It's okay. But again, the fun part is that in the end, we all buy after price. So no matter how young you are, Gen Z, 60% of them, their decision point, it's price. So they want online, they want cheap, they want fast, and they want it after someone's opinion. So with all these four criteria, the answer is pretty clear. If you want something fast, online, probably the cheapest, and after someone's opinion, where would you go? Where do you go to buy if you want something fast, cheap, online, with someone's influence? Cristobal has said before, we go to Amazon. So we buy most of the things at Amazon, not only clothes or books or even furniture for home, but also wine. Maybe
books,
it's not... Yeah.
Especially books about wine marketing.
Yeah. Maybe it's not the best part to buy online wine because it has its own risk. It's always better to buy in a physical point. But it's true that we need to be there. It's a window that if we're not there, we won't exist. So at least on the eyes of younger generations, okay? And actually, if you go to the store, then you'll end up buying beer. So this is another risk too. Yeah. So this is a little bit old graphic, but I like it because already in 2015, millennials in red were the 36% of the buying power, okay? Of the wine drinking population by generation. They already overtook baby boomers and of course they say older here. But
I'm a boomer.
Yeah.
I'm a boomer.
So already by 2015, we overtook, 5 years ago, we overtook the previous generations and the most demographic group willing to buy wine. So this is good news. We already want to try something new, forget about beer, but how do we differentiate from the vast majority, okay? I like a little bit this slide because it talks about the momentum of consumption, okay? So we're talking yesterday, what's the context where you drink wine, about your students too. So why do we go, actually younger people, your students, why do we go and buy a bottle of wine to a supermarket or to a wine store or whatever, to a liquor store? And it's because of, we're in a quest for pleasure. So we want to buy wine because we're thinking on the moment, on the context we're going to drink it with our girlfriend or in our first date. So,
That's right.
So, well, you'll talk about your anecdote later if you want, but it's great to see that when we think on the moment of buying a bottle of wine, it's because we're thinking on, we want to explore something. For me, it's a very low percentage, 7%, because normally when I want to try wine, it's because I want to be discovered something different. So by the sommelier or the wine guy at the shop.
And if you see here, terroirist.
Yeah.
This is the enologist. The enologist would look at this chart and say, there's the problem. No? People aren't drinking wine because it's good. They should be drinking wine because it comes from a place.
Yeah.
And you and I both think, actually, if they're drinking it because it's good, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
They might drink more of it.
But it's true. It's a point of view that really spoils the context because they pollute with their idea and with their patterns, and it should be something cleaner and something more neutral. And I think it's the people that came from a different context. So I was working in IT before, for instance, but my boss is a lawyer and went to the wine business. But the people that disrupt and go to a radically different business will be able to do things differently. So you said that we should advise the wineries to hire poets, musicians, actors, humorists, or script writers, people that are creators, or guitar players. Yeah.
Even that.
Yeah. Or painters, people that have a that value detail, that value the way they do things, and that they don't have a clue about wine, but they have the ability to criticize what's going on and to say, this is boring.
And it's a good place to talk about this. The greatest poem ever written about wine?
By a Chilean.
By a Chilean, Pablo Neruda. Absolutely, the Ode to Wine.
Yeah. Well, what do you think it's representing those three graphs? Because they're both, the three of them going down. And it's about Gen Z, so this is the people that are around now 20-something. And Vice, the US magazine, says, Gen Z are too busy to drink or do drugs. I was like, well, it may be true. It's one more study. But the surprising thing is that, so young people that have tried alcohol, have had sex, or have a driver's license are decreasing. The figures are decreasing from 94, 91, or 76 to the current years. So what's going on with the younger people? Probably they saw that you, Paul, started drinking, I don't know, at the age of 16 or even 14, or even driving a car if you could on the Napa Valley roads, or even, having sex with someone else or going outside. But what's going on now that people are too busy maybe with their mobile phones to try these new things, or simply that they don't want to do it. They've seen that their parents have tried alcohol and have drink alcohol at home, and they don't want to do it. They want to explore different things. They want to drink. They drink some things, but not wine. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, video games. But probably it's something that's not social for sure. It's probably something that's pretty much individualistic. Okay, they would say that yes, because they play video games with someone else behind the screen. But at least, even for me, that's not social. So well, this is a reality. So it's just to trigger a little bit debate afterwards, or even now if you want, but it's something that's going on. Again, they want to try blue wine. This is a Spanish startup. Mm-hmm. They want to try wine with no alcohol, wine with cannabis, but not real wine. But this is something that's telling us that either we need to adapt. I'm not saying we need to do what the market says, but at least be with our ears open and willing to embrace change. Okay? So that's going on. Again, we have different technologies when we approach to wine. We have labels that have augmented reality. We have virtual reality at restaurants. So these are just some. There are many more I'm forgetting. We have canned wine. It could be a way to get even closer to this moment of consumption. You buy a can of wine.
You know, Sofia Coppola in Napa has made a sparkling wine in a can, and inside the can is a straw. Do you know why? Sofia Coppola is a beautiful young woman, and she says when she goes with her friends to a bar and drinks, the glass always destroys her lipstick. So her can has a little straw so she can drink and her lipstick stays perfect.
And your white teeth, too.
Yeah.
Your smile. So, but the good thing here is that at least someone thought that you could do things different, and you have the ability and you're brave enough to do some innovation in wine, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's true, for the new world it's easier, for the old world it's a little bit more complicated. But, well, again, why do we still use QR in our labels? That takes us to the website of the winery. Come on, I mean, before buying that bottle of wine, I've been already there. So why do you again take me to your website, which, by the way, has no wine shop, which is old-fashioned?
No, it just has a picture of barrels,
yeah, it just
tanks,
has the picture of the
bottling
barrel.
line,
Exactly.
and the technical data.
So why do you keep on closing the loop on such a bad way? Okay? Well, I guess, bless you.
Salud.
Yeah, today it's cold. So again, we're having newer technology that are here to help us. Some people will think that, there was this huge scandal in Europe with Alexa, that they were spying at home. But at least it's a way to know what you like, what you're drinking, and then they will offer it on Amazon. So we'll close the loop in in a positive way.
How many of you have Alexa or something like that at home? Yeah? Okay. You are braver than me.
Or even these apps where you can rate your wine and discover wine. Eventually, they will become also marketplaces. Vivino, it's already a marketplace, and it's the biggest wine community in the world with over 40 million wine lovers. So it's just a place where we need to be and be with our ears open. Social media too. I just brought this as an idea of what the younger people are willing to see when they go online. I know this is too much, but it's purely, yes, aspirational content. So I'm not this, but it's what I think I will become if I buy your bottle of wine. You know, I want to be on the seaside, with the sunset, with nice people around. So is it true? Is it false? But it's something that it's a way to connect with our audience in a purely metaphorical way. Okay. So,
is this where I talk?
No, I'm finishing
no.
now. Yeah, one more minute. So, my previous generation were drinking their Caps Up, their Chardonnays. There were two grapes that were able to identify with them in style, in even the context that, you know, the people that they were having the wine with. Millennials were drinking our champagne. Our pale rosé from Provence. And what's the story with Gen Z, with these young people? They want biodynamic wine. They want organic wine. They want gluten-free. They want vegan. And you know, which wine meets all those criteria? You know, does this wine exist? Sugar-free. It needs to be local because I don't want to bring it from overseas.
Yeah.
I wanted free delivery to my home. So I said, come on, there needs to be a wine that meets all these criteria for young people. I said, yes. And I saw it in Spain. There's even this tendency now.
Drum roll.
Yeah, it takes time because it's not easy. Yeah, thank you. It's water. So, but not plastic bottle.
Yeah.
Because that's polluting, you know? So it needs to be tap water. And there's a huge tendency now by the governments in Spain giving these jars of water to the people, to the restaurants. So they're buying glasses of water to a restaurant, giving them for free. So they pour you tap water at the restaurant, and it's actually, well, it happens in other countries, but it's actually cool now to not to spend money in beer or in wine, and you get tap water, and it's healthy, and it may be also a tendency. Why not?
And no plastic bottles.
Yeah, I want to be fit. I want to be healthy. Okay, so basically, and I'm finishing now. Let's not focus on the Gen Z. Millennials are our new wine consumers, our new target group, okay? They have the buying power. They have the willingness to get to know new things. They have the ability to explore, to travel. They have the money, the time. So and again, what they're looking for. They're looking for human stories, from people like you that have amazing things to tell and that feel passionate for what they do, okay? The rest of them, they will eventually become our target group too, but we still need more innovation, more time to focus on them, more stimuli. So I think we should not waste some time on them, but let's make it fun, that's it, and put passion on what we do. I think we're all able to know that the best way to connect with the other is looking into our eyes, expressing, talking from our heart, telling personal stories, human stories, and this brings me to the second one. Let's not try to educate two people, because maybe they don't want, maybe they just paid $20 and came to our winery because they wanted to have fun that day with their partner.
They're tourists.
Yeah.
They want to have fun.
They may know about wine, but they are acting as a normal tourist. They want to go to the visit and just enjoy and try not to work. And yeah, if they learn something, okay, that's cool. But if they not, at least they had fun, okay? So we have this moral obligation on trying to train people, to educate. But maybe simply we just want to have fun, okay?
Good.
So it's true that we're talking about edutainment yesterday. why should we try to make something apparently boring as educating with entertaining, okay? Or gamification, you know? So do a training where you act as you were gaming. Maybe it's a way to get to younger people, but maybe not. Maybe we're just having fun, okay? So don't forget this and talk from your heart, have fun, put passion on it, and simply be yourself, okay? And I'm sure you will connect with your audience. So thank you very much.
Good. Excellent.
Thank you very much, Mikel.
Nice job. Nice job. So you stay here too.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit. Mikel mentioned education. The wine industry is the worst example of education on the planet. Because we always say we need to educate our customers. I'm a professional teacher. When I teach, I have student learning objectives, things the student will know at the end of class. I can give an exam at the end of the class, and my students will normally get 70, 80, 90% of the answers correct. We as the wine industry continue to give the same class and the students don't learn. When I teach something in my class and all of the students come back and question 17 is wrong by all of the students, I do not say my students are stupid. I say I did a terrible job of teaching this topic. So when you ask your customers when they leave your winery, what did you learn? And if they don't give you your student learning objectives, don't say they're stupid. Don't say they need more education. You did a terrible job teaching them. And I encourage you to ask everyone who visits your winery in the afternoon, which winery did you visit this morning? They won't be able to tell you the name. It's the one with the big tower. It's the one down on the other side of the river, but they won't even remember the name. They're not at our wineries to learn. If we're going to teach them, we need to teach them professionally, and we don't. We don't hire professional teachers to write the material. We don't hire professional teachers to deliver the message, and we don't test our students. It's the worst possible example of education. So the next time you hear anyone in the wine industry say, consumers need more education, say yes, and the last people who should do it are the people in the wine industry. Okay, are we ready with mine?
We make them feel stupid. If you're telling someone,
Yes.
you need more education, I would say, okay, well, I'm sorry. Yeah, didn't know I knew anything about wine.
Are we ready with my presentation? I hope. Okay, thanks. Again, thanks, Mikel. Really, thanks a lot. Many, many thanks. Mil gracias. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the applications, but I know what the first slide is, so I'm just going to start right there. If you create a marketing program, just like teaching a class, you should have specific objectives. What are the objectives of your social media program? And if you do not have a clear message, if you do not have a clear point of differentiation for your winery, if you do not have clear results you want to measure, don't do social media. You're just wasting your time, and you're wasting your customers' time. You need to begin with, okay, how does it, I have to hold it a long time? Oh.
Yeah.
This is exciting. Okay, you need a plan. You need how many of you have taken a marketing class? Well, that's a good sign. How many of you can give me a definition of marketing? Let's try that again. How many have taken the marketing class? Yeah, okay. I give you two definitions of marketing. The enhancement and protection of a brand. What are you going to do to make your brand worth more money? It's easy to understand. When you're old and your children tell you they don't want the winery, you sell it. You sell the barrels, you sell the tanks, you sell the bottles, you sell the vineyards. The only thing you don't sell is the name, because the new winery doesn't want to call it Mikel Vineyards, he wants to call it Paul Vineyards. So you have the name, you have your brand, you can sell it. How much is the brand worth? Exactly as much as you did successful marketing. If you sell the brand and it's worth 0, you did terrible, terrible marketing. So think about that. Every day when you wake up, what can I do to make my brand worth more money, not to me, because I'm not going to buy it. It has to be to someone who wants to buy it. That's marketing. The other definition of marketing is wonderful, because I asked this once in a class, and usually no one has an answer, but this person had an answer, raised his hand, and he said, marketing is identifying a need in the market and developing a product to meet that need. I said, that's a very, very good definition of marketing. Can I ask your background? He said, yes, I was a senior vice president for Procter & Gamble for 22 years. How many wineries started by identifying a need in the marketplace and then creating a product? Anyone? We start by saying, I own this property. We start by saying, I want to make this wine. We start by saying, I want to make it in this style. Do you notice the problem there? Marketing is directed at the market, and we in the wine industry start with I. Excuse me, but unless I is going to buy the wine, that's wrong. Instead of buying the property you want, you should buy the property the market wants. You should make the wine the market wants. But that would make you successful, and that's not what the wine industry wants to do. So, you need key points of differentiation. What makes you different? Clearly, Mikkel is younger and taller than me. We have a clear point of differentiation here. No? In most wineries, what is your point of differentiation? They will tell you in one word. We are focused on
the vineyard.
Quality. If every winery says the same thing, it's not a point of differentiation. I'm surprised I have to explain this to you, but I've never seen a winery. I have had a meeting with 1,000 winemakers. Who here is not dedicated to quality? No, nobody here either. So don't talk about quality. Everybody wants quality. But what makes you different? Or as my mother used to say, what makes you think you're so special? So, you need that point of differentiation, and then exactly to Mikkel's point, what's the market? Who are you selling to? It's not fair to say there are 7 billion people in the world, I'm selling to them. This is like standing in the middle of the Estadio Maracanã and saying, I'm going to sell this bottle to them. You won't sell any wine. They're all busy doing something else. You need to find unique market segments and talk to them specifically. So, you need clear goals. What is it you're trying to do? If you really, I used to tell my clients, my public relations clients, they say, we want to improve our image. I said, good, be nicer to people. Problem solved. No? Develop a budget. How much are you willing to spend to achieve this goal? And of course, as someone said yesterday, if you can't measure it, it doesn't exist. Or as I tell my clients, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it, so forget about it. And then establish clear criteria. Did we achieve our goal? Now let's talk about how to do that. So, which social media are most important? There's a very simple answer. The ones your market uses. If you want to talk to me in social media, you'd better be on LinkedIn. because Twitter and Instagram for me are just not interesting. But I suspect that Mikkel is a completely different market. Which social media do you participate on?
Yeah, Instagram a little bit, Twitter, but yes, for getting the news, what's going on in the world, but also LinkedIn. So
yeah. So each market is different, and you need to understand that. The only way you can find out what your customers want,
it's going there.
you have to ask them. Okay? I teach a class on how to sell. Our common perception of a salesperson is someone who talks very fast. The worst possible salesperson. The best possible salesperson, a good listener. If you want to sell wine, you have to listen to your customers. So, some very basic rules. Best practices. What should everyone do? Number one, answer emails and texts quickly. No fair leaving them till Friday afternoon and then answering everyone at the same time. No. You get an answer, you get an email from a customer, you get a text, you answer immediately. I like to say within 5 hours, 6 hours, you need to answer the questions. Second thing, create content and different content for each social media platform. It's not the same Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Those are different. I have examples of each coming in a minute, okay? For example, it's International Dog Day. And V. Satui, how do you know it's V. Satui? Satui Winery. V. Satui, that was their Facebook post for International Dog Day. How many of you have dogs? You like this post, don't you? How many of you do not have dogs? You don't care about this post, do you? It's okay. It's market segmentation. But people who like dogs a lot. You do not have to be all things to all people. You just have to find one group that loves you. And you need enough of them to sell all your wine. It's an unusual kind of fermentation lock, isn't it? Yeah. Makes for a great Instagram post. This probably won't come out, and I want to stress this really strongly. This post would never happen with a large corporate winery. Large corporate wineries always show you barrels and tanks and bottling lines and data sheets. And nobody in the market cares about barrels, tanks, bottling lines, or data sheets. But if you are a small producer, this is the one advantage you have over large corporate wineries. You can have personality. And this Instagram post was picked up all sorts of places, gave this gentleman lots of attention. Okay? And it didn't cost him much money either. Be creative in your Twitter feeds. Jesus was the one who spent his last free night on earth drinking wine with his friends. No? For people who like wine, do you find this attractive? Absolutely. Will you share it with your friends? Absolutely. That's what social media, good social media does. This one astonishes me. The number of wineries that you arrive at the winery and they don't have free Wi-Fi. Now, what does the winery want you to do as a customer? Take a photo of your friend, ideally just in front of the winery sign, and what do they want you to do with that photo? Send it to all their friends, but you can't because they won't give you access to their Wi-Fi. Why don't they just hold a gun in their hand and say, okay, tell me when to shoot? For example, one of my dear friends and students from Italy, Silvia Loriga, She's the director of marketing and communications for the Consorzio de Vino Nobile de Montepulciano. No? And she created in her offices, in her visitor center, a bottle. It helps that Sylvia's quite short, so she can sit in the bottle like this. No? About 20 to 30 people a day take a photo of someone they know inside the bottle and send it to their friends. Oh, and she does provide free Wi-Fi. And look what the bottle says. Hashtag, hashtag. She's providing all the social media clues right there in the photograph for all of her customers. Pretty smart. You will never see this sign at a large corporate winery, because large corporate wineries have no sense of humor. This winery is owned by a woman. Absolutely. Very smart woman who knows how to have fun. And so she puts this on the wall, and lots of people take pictures of this. Mikkel mentioned the QR code. This is a winery in Napa. And when you go on a walk through their gardens, they actually have QR codes so that you can learn about their gardens as you're walking through. Easy, nice, convenient. Remember, tourists are on vacation. If there are two things I would ask you to do with everything you do with tourism, make it easy and make it fun. Those are the two things tourists want. Notice I did not mention at any time malolactic fermentation. And now I promised Mikkel I would show a little video. This is a winery called Barrel Oak Winery. The acronym is BOW. And they have an official winery dog. And on event days, they actually put a camera, cuando quiera, put a camera on the dog.
This is Birch, the unofficial, self-appointed wine dog of this place, the Barrel Oak Winery. Birch has graciously agreed to give us the dog's eye view of the winery during his favorite event of the year, his birthday, or as we like to call it, Birch Day.
Yeah, so every event, they have a live feed from the GoPro on their dog, so that if you cannot be at the winery, you can see what the dog is seeing about the party. Mainly what the dog is seeing is people saying, "Oh, you work so good." The people who have dogs understand, and the other people, it doesn't matter. You're not the target market. GPS programs, you can buy GPS program now in New Zealand that will take you to the wineries of New Zealand. You simply get in your car and say, I want to taste Sauvignon Blanc, and they will take you to the wineries that you need. Or vines, they have information from each winery. I only am interested in wineries that have older vintages. They will give you a list and a map printed out directly on your phone. Simple, easy. You can decide which wineries you want to visit based on what you are interested in. And finally, one of the reasons to be on social media is to find out what your friends think of you. Mr. Trump found this out the other day. No? But you have to be there. You have to find out what people are saying about you. So, keys to success, and we are going to have time for some questions. Make it fun, make it simple, memorable. The fact that you make good wine is not memorable. The fact that the soils in your vineyards have exceptionally good drainage, not memorable. You need to talk about things. My definition of a good story for a winery is someone who doesn't like wine will repeat the story because it's a good story. And in America, in California, the wineries all have the same story. We're a small family winery, sometimes owned by two brothers named Ernest and Julio Gallo, but we're a small family winery. We carefully select our vineyards. We carefully make our wines with great care, and we've won some awards. Okay? Don't say any of those things, because everyone says those things, and those things are boring. Tell me something interesting. Tell me something that I will, as I get in my car to drive home, I will turn to my wife and say, you should send a photo and tell that story to your sister. That's a good story. Okay? Anybody know where this is?
It's a big, big party, right?
It's
The middle of the desert.
It's a really, really big party. And for me, it's really interesting because it is the ultimate expression of tourism. It's the Black Rock Desert in Nevada. There is nothing there. This is like the Atacama. Huh? But for 1 week in September, it becomes the Burning Man Arts Festival. 100,000 people come to Burning Man to see what is happening. When you at your winery say, we have nothing to show people, remember, 100,000 people drive to the middle of the desert where there is nothing, because all they did was be creative. What you have to do if you want to see people, you have to be creative. And creative is not, we're a small family winery, we carefully select our vineyards, we handcraft our wines, and we've won some awards. That's not creative. Whoops, wait, I want to go back to the last slide. Well, anyway, it shows a bunch of people looking at their phones. There it is. FaceTime is always better than Facebook. I know, Facebook eventually created something called FaceTime. I swear they stole my idea. They owe me millions of dollars. But I think people of my generation don't understand Facebook. We say young people have no friends. It's not true. They have friends. They love their friends. But when they cannot be with their friends, they let their friends know what's going on Facebook. As a winery, you cannot use Facebook as a way to find new friends. What you have to do is use Facebook as a way to keep in touch with the people who are already your friends. They already know you, they already know who you are, now you can be friends. I have a million things to say. Mikel has another million, but we want to give you a chance to ask questions. So we're going to stop this and open the floor up for questions.
Thank you very much, Paul. Let's give him an applause.
Thank you.
Thank you also, Mikel, for those great presentations. I think we've got 10 to 15 minutes, so there's the microphone down there.
Or just shout them out. Here, here. Keep your hands up. These are the two people who took a marketing.
Hey, good morning. My name is Elisa. I'm from Cousinho Macul, a winery that's in Maipo Valley. There have been a lot of things that I've been reading about, like how we develop marketing, wine marketing during the last 20 years. And something that you said before, really opened my mind. Our customer, what we used to look for was the foreigner, was not actually foreigner, the other countries. Our exportation is bigger than the wines that we drink in our country. And today, with this big crisis, we have to change our way of thinking that the other countries or the foreigners that come to Chile are not the most important ones today. It's our own people. We want Chileans to travel through Chile and to drink the wines that we want to share with them. And it's not easy because sometimes we see like the bad things inside our countries and we're not like open to see how good quality, yes, we have, and how important it is to see our own history. And today, I don't know how to focus myself to get these Chileans to see how our own brothers and sisters can see the magical things that we can share to them. And it's been, for me, like every single day from these 2 months, I've been thinking, what should I think in a different way to bring our people to see our vineyard? And a lot of people has just told me that just use the price, cheaper price, and that's it. And that's the thing that it keeps going in my head, like, no, what can I do to make a difference and to share my winery with the passion that I have from it, to share them, but in a good way, in a thing that they will know this winery for the rest of their lives. And one trick with my winery, it's a really old winery and has been in our tables for I don't know how many years. So I had to think differently, and I don't know how to do it.
Okay, so a few ideas, and I'm sure, Mika, you may have some too. 3 quick ideas. Number 1, in Napa, we look at the tourists from outside as really important. But we know that in the quiet season, January, February, March, particularly for restaurants, there's only one way to keep the doors open, and that's for locals. And so we absolutely understand the big profit in the future is the world, but we have special local nights at the local restaurants. We have special pricing for locals. We do lots of different things like that. But let's talk to a bigger question, which is Chile. Because the only way you can find out what will work is to ask your Chilean friends. And I will tell you this, in Napa, there is an absolute golden rule. People will go where their children go. Will go where their children go. So, for example, one of the big shopping areas in Napa organizes Christmas concerts this time of year, every Saturday morning. Guess who's singing? All of the children from the local schools. Children show up, they sing Christmas carols, everyone is happy, everyone is lovely, everyone is at the shopping center with the children. And then you've got half the battle won. So I would say, instead of saying, we're going to be a winery, and to attract Chilenos, we're going to have lower prices, same winery, I would say, no. We want to be a destination for what our market wants. Let's do special events to celebrate students in agriculture in our region and have a big fundraising dinner and invite all of the parents. You want to be seen as part of the community, as an active part of the community, not that business up on the hill who only speaks English and Brasileiro. That's what I think. No.
¿Cómo era tu nombre? Disculpa. Elisa. Bueno, te voy a responder en castellano si no te importa. Yo, es mi primera vez en Chile, nunca había estado de Florida para abajo, y con los pocos días que llevo en Chile sí que te diría que no tengas miedo en hacer marketing para chilenos, que es radical, o sea, sin pelos en la lengua. me lo invento, ayer estamos aquí tomando algo, pues que seas directa. Si tu objetivo es captar, o sea, que seas la primera bodega para chilenos, que el vino más bebido por los chilenos, me lo invento. El vino que no te da caña al día siguiente, el vino que nunca bebería un argentino, solo un chileno puede disfrutarlo. Yo qué sé, que seas provocativa, que se haga viral tu marketing creativo, incluso apóyate en la historia que tienes. Pero sobre todo eso, no bajes el precio, bueno, no juegues con el precio porque siendo de España, en Europa siempre se ha dicho el vino español, el que mejor relación calidad-precio tiene del mundo o de Europa.
Sí, y no venden vino.
Y claro, es que cuando yo llegué al sector del vino y me dijeron, no, pero, y mis amigos, no, pero es que un vino español está muy bien porque por 10 euros tienes un gran vino. Vale, es verdad,
Sí.
con el mismo presupuesto en un supermercado.
Y yo pregunto a mis estudiantes, ¿quieres este vino de España de 12 euros o este de Bordeaux de 25?
Claro.
Y quieren el Bordeaux. Sí.
Entonces, esa coletilla de la mejor relación calidad-precio es una bendición, pero es una maldición al mismo tiempo y te condena, porque cuando haces vino premium, un vino diferente, y quieres salir fuera a venderlo, y dices, no, este vino ahora vale, bueno, este vino vale 60 euros, haciéndoles, dicen, ya, pero es español, y dicen, ya, pero es que este sí que vale dinero, este justo es el bueno. Dice, ya, pero es que eras español, no puedes, ahora ¿cómo vale 60 dólares?
Sí.
Es que, aclárate, o buena relación calidad-precio, por 60 me compro un Borgoña o un Burdeos, entonces un Grand Cru Glacé. Bueno, tanto no. Pero a lo que voy, que el precio no sea más que una manera de hacer valorar lo que haces, que no justifique nada. El precio simplemente es el valor que tú le pones a lo que haces con mucho cariño, que dices. Entonces, apóyate en otros argumentos y si eres una pequeña bodega como las que decía, bueno, pequeña, que no es una gran corporación, atrévete a jugar con el marketing, prueba error, lo que funciona y sigue tu corazón.
Okay, gracias.
Bien.
Thank you, Michael.
Bien.
Another question, please. We've got two more questions. Sorry, we're kind of late.
Aquí.
Hi. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Paul. I'm Elena Carretero, Corporate Director in Santa Rita, but I'm still related to the Wine Consortium for Research and Development in Chile. I think we were together in a seminar a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah, and one of the things that we have been doing collaborative, in Chile is, this research and development, sustainability, and one of the things that it was the hardest thing, it was wine consumer preference. I remember because I think you have been talking of two things, different things. One is the marketing in the wine industry, and the other is the marketing in the wine tourism. Mm-hmm. That is completely different. In the wine, we have this amazing problem because we have a lot of audience, but we have a wine writers, the wine critics, that not each industry has in the world. So sometimes we have to talk about these things or, technical things or wines that are completely different, because we are talking for them, because they put the scores in the wines. And sometimes we need to talk to the consumer, to the real consumer. But really, when you talk with the wine writers, it's completely different. It's that they need to talk about, innovative wines or wines that you are doing because, nobody wants. Or sometimes it's completely...
They need to talk to the winemaker to show the winemaker. In every class, there is a student like this, no? It's always a guy. He raises his hand and you say, yes, Juan Pablo. And he says, can you explain why this wine has only 43% malolactic fermentation when the level of sulfur was this and the pH was this level, and it would seem to me that the wine would... And Juan Pablo is not asking that question because he wants to know the answer. He's asking that question because he wants you to know he's smart enough to ask that question, okay? He's completely uninterested in the answer, and none of the other students are interested in the answer either. So I'm going to give you an example. My company organizes the national tour in the United States of the Union du Grand Cru de Bordeaux. 100 chateaus, Grand Cru. It must be the owner at the chateau. And 1,000 of the top trade in America, in New York, in Chicago, San Francisco. And everyone comes up and asks exactly the same question. It's Bordeaux. How do we make Bordeaux? It's a blend. Blend of 5 varietals. Sorry, but they don't count Carmenere. 5 varietals. And so they ask, what is the blend? And the chateau owner who is there has traveled from France. He owns the chateau. You could ask him anything you want. And every member of the trade says, what's the blend? And so the chateau owner stands there, 60% Cabernet, 38% Merlot, and 2% Cabernet Franc. 35% Cabernet, 35% Merlot, 30% Cabernet Franc. 2% Petit Verdot. All around the room, okay? No communication happens. Because at the end of the tasting, I asked the people at the tasting, did you find a wine you like? Oh, yes, the Chateau Becheville is beautiful. I said, good, what's the blend? I don't know. It's a ritual. It's a ritual like Catholic Mass in Latin. Everyone knows something important is happening, but nobody really has any idea what they're saying up there. And so one day, I was standing next to Aymar de Balance of Chateau Becheville, and I said, Aymar, please, can I pour your wine for 5 minutes? And because he's an exceptionally nice man, he said, okay. The first man came up, what's the blend? I said, do you want to know why there's a ship on the label of Chateau Becheville? Okay, sure. There's a ship on the label of Chateau Becheville because during the time of Louis XIV, the Sun King, Chateau Becheville was the private property of the admiral of the French fleet. Look at the ship. Do you see anything? There's something wrong with the sail, the vela. No? I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's been lowered because for a generation, every ship sailing in and out of Bordeaux Harbor would lower its sails and the crew would stand at attention in honor of the admiral of the French fleet. In fact, Bechevelle actually comes from the French to lower the sail, baja vela. No? Do you want to try the wine? Yeah. No? He had forgotten completely about whether it was 38% or 33% Merlot. Because we told him something he could remember. And my suggestion, when someone asks you those complicated technical questions, first of all, how much oak? First of all, we lie. In the wine industry, we lie. 16 months in oak. Bullshit.
Okay.
Some of the wine was in French oak. Some was in American oak. Some was in new barrels. Some was in old barrels. Most of it was kind of but there was some that we put in a tank because if we left it in the barrel too long, we needed to blend back a little. And so we take a little of this and a little of that and a little from the tank, and then we add 3% Carmenere because it adds a little oomph to the body, and we say 16 months in oak. What a load of crap. And then we say, consumers need to be educated. By us? I don't think so. So I like to ask when someone says, how much oak? I say, what do you think? First of all, it changes the energy of the conversation. What do I think? No, you say, do you think it has 1 year of oak, 2 years of oak? Because the one thing it does is it makes it, because if oak is so important, I should, as an expert, be able to taste the wine and say, 16 months. No? If it's not that important, and if you taste it and you can't tell, why do you care? You can't taste it.
Dear Paul, sorry, I've got to interrupt you. I'm really sorry. And
Okay.
sorry, everyone. I got to play the role of the bad guy of the movie, but we have to move
We only
forward.
have 2 questions.
So let's give them an applause. Yes, I mean, I'm sure, unfortunately, we're running out of time. Conference is must to keep going. So we've got a lot of activities during the afternoon onwards. And I'm sure you could have a chat with Paul. And
We'll be
Miguel.
here right now afterwards if you want to talk.
Cristóbal, una más.
No, excuse me, sorry, but we have to keep moving. Thank you very much to both of you.
Thank you. Good.
Thank you very much. And now we are going to invite you to the big venue, to the next part of the activities is
Which
knowing
will
the
start
customer.
late.
What does
Yeah.
big data tell us about?
We should
Yes,
start
at sauna. Yes, you're right.
start earlier.
Yeah.
Thank you very much again,
Yeah.
Paul and Miguel. I'm so
Thank
sorry
you.
to interrupt
It's okay.
you. And thank you very much to
Nada,
everyone.
nada.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again. Thank you for saying hello.
¿Qué hay?
Muy bien.
Pero me ha gustado tu